All right, let's talk about cooking. For most of us, it's just another thing we have to do every day. But what if I told you it could be one of the best tools you have for your mental health? Seriously, today we're going to dig into the psychological perks of cooking based on some really cool insights from Psychology Today.
And look, let's be real. In our crazy busy lives, who has the time? Cooking can feel like a total chore, right? It's just one more thing on that never-ending to-do list, something to get through as fast as possible so you can finally sit down.
And this really nails the feeling, doesn't it? On one hand, we have this fantasy of cooking being this calm, creative, almost zen-like activity. But the reality for so many of us, it's a frantic race against the clock, which just piles on more stress.
But here's where things get interesting. What if we've been looking at this whole thing completely backwards? Let's try to flip the script. We're going to stop seeing cooking as a chore and start seeing it for what it can be, a powerful form of therapy that's been hiding in our kitchens all along.
So where do we start? Well, with maybe the biggest benefit of all, cooking as a form of mindfulness. Think about it. It's all about your senses, right? And that's what pulls you right into the present moment, away from everything else.
And here's how it works. It's so simple, really. First, you engage your senses. You feel the knife chopping the onion. You smell the garlic hitting the hot pan. You hear that sizzle. All of that stuff demands your focus. It forces you to concentrate on what you're doing. And, this is the magic part, it literally interrupts those negative thoughts that might be running on a loop in your head.
And that loop has a name, by the way. Psychologists call it rumination. You know that feeling when your brain just gets stuck on a worry and plays it over and over? Well, that's it. And an activity like cooking that makes you focus on something physical, it's one of the best ways to break that cycle. Just by focusing on, say, stirring a pot, you're giving your brain a timeout from all that stress.
Okay, so it's not just about mindfulness. It goes deeper. Cooking is also an amazing way to build your confidence and flex your creative muscles. Let's face it, life can feel pretty chaotic and out of our control sometimes. The kitchen, though, that can be your space of order and real accomplishment.
This whole process builds something called self-efficacy. It's a fancy term, but it just means believing in your own ability to get things done. And every single time you cook a meal, it doesn't have to be fancy, even simple mac and cheese counts, you're proving to yourself that you can do it. You're building that sense of mastery.
This chart lays it out so clearly. Think about life's big stressors. They often feel totally uncontrollable, and you have no idea how they'll turn out. But cooking? It's the complete opposite. It has a clear process, a beginning, a middle, an end. And if you follow the steps, you get a real, tangible result. A meal. That predictability is so grounding. It's empowering.
And of course, we can't forget the creative part. Cooking is this cool blend of art and utility, right? It's a space where you can experiment, play with flavors, connect with your family's traditions, and just create something that's totally you. And that kind of self-expression, it's a massive boost for your sense of who you are.
So cooking is great for us as individuals, but it's also about something bigger. It has this incredible social power. Think about it. For as long as humans have existed, preparing and sharing food has been how we connect. It's a fundamental way we build and strengthen our relationships. And here are just a few ways it works. When you cook with someone, you have to communicate. When you eat together, you strengthen those family bonds. When you pass down a recipe, you're sharing a piece of your culture, your history. It all creates these shared experiences, this routine that gives us a sense of stability we all crave.
You know what's really fascinating? All of this actually lines up with a real strategy used in therapy. It's called behavioral activation. The basic idea is that to combat things like depression, you engage in activities that are both meaningful and rewarding. And guess what? Cooking checks all the boxes. It's an easy, accessible way to do something purposeful and feel that great sense of accomplishment.
So as we start to wrap this up, the big picture becomes pretty clear, right? It's really about reclaiming your kitchen. It doesn't have to be this place of frantic work. It can actually be your own personal sanctuary, a place for healing, for creativity, and for connection.
So just to recap, look at all this. Cooking is a tool for mindfulness. It's a boost for your self-confidence. It's an outlet for your creativity. It's a way to connect with people you care about. And it provides routine and stability. Wow, all of that packed into one everyday activity?
And if you need one sentence to sum it all up, this quote from Psychology Today just says it perfectly. Cooking offers far more than nourishment for the body. It provides a rich context for psychological growth and emotional well-being. It's not just about food, it's about feeding your mind and soul too.
So that leaves us with a question, really, a question for you. This isn't about becoming a 5-star chef tomorrow. It's just about changing how you see it. So, whether it's making a simple box of pasta or finally trying that recipe you saved, how are you going to reclaim your kitchen?